Yeah, so I'm back again to work on the third of the Bluetooth speakers. So it's supposed to be a broken port, so it'll be attempt to make a bypass, a wire bypass again. Not exactly sure what this one is. Let's see. It says UE. I don't know, man. It says UE. So this is a new design. I haven't tried this one before, and just sort of multitasking here and watching Saturday Night Live on this card I sort of fixed by closing some ferrite beads in the previous video. Yeah, so I suspect that you unsnap the edges, but I'm just worried that there's something else to it. And so I'm gonna go here and look at this video here, and maybe this video will show some other people um, taking this apart so that I won't break anything. Yeah, so assuming that what's wrong with this is this connector, which it does look kind of strange. One of the big problems I have here is that this connector board here, I would have said that this connector board was, maybe doing some overcurrent and whatnot, and then it would, feed into the main board, so it'd be kind of like a protection board. Trouble is, it did make this in a really friendly way to replace. I mean, you'd have to almost desolder it. Looks like you have to desolder it from the board here, and they glue gunned it in, and the wires hook in here. So it's almost like you got to shut the wires through and then solder them in position. The trouble is, you got like more wires than you'd expect from the USB coming out, and I don't know if that's because it's like there's, well, let's see, there's a red and a blue, which is probably positive and negative. Then you'd expect four different wires out. One, two. Well, you got two whites. For some reason, you got two whites, and do you have a black there? Okay, there's a white, black, a blue, and a red, and I don't know what the yellow is. So I'm worried that it's either a connect or there's like some sort of DC to DC converter making another power rail out of this thing. So you'd almost have to have the schematic to know exactly what the hell, why there's like so many wires coming out of this board. Yeah, so far I didn't see anything. It's a definitive schematic, but it's really perplexing. And here's a good picture of what you probably can't see with that, by through this camera. But those are probably the power in. So I suspect if I connected to those two, the red and the black, it would work. I just don't know if it would charge, because this thing could have something to do with charging. It's really enigmatic what's going on here. Two of those things. If it uses data lines, I'm not even sure it uses data lines. If it uses data lines, two of those might be the data lines. It's probably the orange and the blue. I don't know what the white would be. It's really a mystery. But I don't see a chip there. You'd think that there would be some sort of an IC. If that was where the charging logic was, you'd think there'd be a chip on that board. I don't see one. Maybe it's on the underside. So here's a description. I believe I'll double check this is the correct pinout. But what I can do is I can do a connectivity test between the USB pinout and the red and black to see if they're power, if they conduct. Then what I can just do is probably just hook the USB power into the red and the black, and then that would make it work, but potentially not charge. I consider that a success from something that otherwise doesn't have really any chance of working again. That's at least an option. So what I've decided to do is to just basically chance that the red and black are in fact where the power is going into this thing. I know that the black is connected to that pin. The red seems to go through some components. I can't say it's a connectivity. Positive connectivity. So what I was going to have to do is I'm going to have to either drill a hole in for where this new wire goes, or I'm going to have to remove the existing USB port, because the USB port would go through that hole. So it's like I said, I have to either make a new hole or get rid of that. So I'm going to try to get rid of it, but I don't want to damage the board. And I'm just hoping that I can just heat the whole damn thing up so much that I can gradually lift it off the circuit board. But it's one of the more trickier things, and honestly, to me, it's pretty small. I almost have to look at it through a magnifying glass, and yeah. So okay, yeah. So it's not trivial dimensioning. So I'm trying to make it so that when people pull on the cable, it's not going to do anything. So I'm trying to make two sets of twist ties. So this would be the inner one, this would be the outer one. So it won't rely on glue gun glue to okay, so hopefully that'll be the inner stop. Okay. So let's take a look at how that would work. No, that's it. Can't go further than that. There'll be another one, then I'll glue gun it. Okay, so I admit that I lost this one. The main problem was there wasn't an easy place to solder to the USB board. I'd have to order proper parts and have proper desoldering equipment. It wasn't fix friendly. What can I say? It wasn't anything I could do myself. I don't know if I started testing sending voltages to certain lines here. Maybe I've destroyed it, but I don't know what its status is. Certain parts could be ordered to make it maybe work again, but I'd say I lost that one, and from what I'm able to do myself, that did not work out. So I might as well turn this into sort of a breakdown model. It was pretty hard to take apart. So a video I watched showed desoldering this board, which has to do with some buttons, and I'm not sure you really had to desolder that, but maybe you did. I think the guy is kind of looking at the standard manual, and I would have really needed a manual, but there was some electronics going on in that USB connection board that I really don't understand what exactly was going on there in the first place. But hot wiring the black and red did not power up the board, and that's what I was really hoping would happen. And that didn't happen. Then it looked like maybe the fat white one was also a 5 volt. And what's weird is it seems that the USB connector is almost like the chassis was at 5 volts, and it's like I don't know why they would do that. And it's just very confusing. So to try to get something out of this, let's just try to capture some of this stuff and so just to get something out of this, let's try to capture some of this to make this worthwhile. Tearing down a Logitech UE boom or something. But I'd say I failed. But I mean, start with nothing, end with nothing. I tried. It would have been nice. But, that's the way it goes. Definitely some fine form factor on that.